Ladies and gentlemen, live from Comedy Bar in Toronto, it's After Hours with Ryan Belleville! Thank you. Wow. Wow. What an amazing time to be alive here. Welcome to After Hours. I, of course, am your host, Ryan Belleville. Thank you so much for coming out to our little talk show. We're flying by the seat of our pants. We had a wonderful backdrop of the skyline of Toronto, and we hung it up, and it looked terrible. It looked really bad. It was clearly from like Temu or something, but it was not good. It was there was buildings from like the Calgary Tower was in it, for God's sake. So it did not look good. All our guests almost didn't make it because the Toronto subway stopped working. Did you guys know that? The subway's not running. 5-6 million people in the city, no subway on a Saturday. Because why would anybody want to go anywhere on a goddamn Saturday in the biggest city in Canada? I love that. The transit is not getting any better in this city. The only difference I've seen over 20 plus years in Toronto with Toronto subways is they took the walls out of some of them. That's the only difference. The only difference. It used to be compartments and now it's one long tube. So you can see the crazy guy all the way down the other end of the train. I'm gonna bug you. So thank God they got rid of that. And at least when they stop, they tell you nothing. When the train stops, thank God they tell you nothing about why it's happening. They just leave the doors open and expect you to figure it out. God bless the Toronto Transit. If they do say anything, they come on and they're like, ladies and gentlemen, Keel. And you're like, I heard Keel. Something's happening at Keel. Well, this is very exciting. So there's been a lot going on in the world. We taped a few weeks ago. We're back. So much happens in just a few weeks. Of course, Trump accepted a $400 million jet. Boo! Boo! Trump says that it is not quid pro quo. That's what he said. He kept saying, it's not quid pro quo. But in his defense, I'm pretty sure he thinks quid pro quo is his dim sum order. So it's not. I'll have 2 quid pro quo, hold the habeas corpus. I never eat quid. It's too smart an animal. It's kind of hard to joke about these things. I don't like joking about Trump and what's going on because we're not topical enough. We're not fast enough. By the time this airs in like a day or two, 900 more things are going to happen. Like today, we talk about $400 million jets. By tomorrow, he's going to make Kanye the ambassador to Israel. Okay. Of course, the biggest news, what's been the biggest news past couple weeks? The Leafs. The Leafs won a game. That is big news. They won a game. They're still alive. They're still alive. Woo! I was going to say a new pope. New pope. That was, yes, right there. You could tell how religious the audience is. Right there by one person. Yes, that did happen. There is a new pope. Well, of course, the new pope happened, and he's an American pope. They picked an American pope. They went through all the conclave. They did the swimsuit competition. They did a talent show. One of the cardinals got kicked out because he was doing magic for his talent. They had to kick him out when he asked for a child from the audience. It's an American pope. An American pope. America's got a pope. Chicago pope. Drives me crazy because you know Trump's taking credit for it too. He's like, I did it. I'm bringing jobs back to America. The papacy is back in America. First American pope since Jesus. I just love the fact that it's a Chicago pope. It's an American pope from Chicago. How crazy is that? Like, we now have a man who's in the Vatican, who's pope, who at some point has had diarrhea from chili cheese fries. Does that not blow your mind at all? Like if the Bears ever win the Super Bowl, there will be a tailgate party in the holy city. I'm joking, of course. The Bears will never win a Super Bowl. And I'm not joking about the diarrhea, though. That's a fact. They keep track of all the Pope diarrhea. It's public record in the Vatican. Did you know that, Mark?
Yep.
Yeah, he knew that. They keep track. Pope Pius III had diarrhea from an expired communion wafer. And Pope Benedict, he had diarrhea from a bad hot dog that he ate at a Nazi youth camping party. I know, he said that's the worst part of the Nazi youth was the diarrhea. What is that Oh, don't make fun of the Nazi Pope. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. Let's talk about the hottest news story. An Ohio woman was recently arrested after police discovered a raccoon with a meth pipe in the driver's seat of her car. Did you guys hear about that one? Did you hear about the meth raccoon? You think in Toronto having raccoons in your organics bin is bad now? Woo, wait till you meet Meth Raccon. They will open your organics, steal your money, get your daughter pregnant, and join Trump's cabinet. Oh! Meth raccoons. I love it. Meth raccoons. The raccoons are on meth. Koala bears all have chlamydia. Did you know that? In Australia, all the koala bears pretty much have chlamydia now. Like all the most adorable animals have some serious problems. Like they've all been hanging out at Burning Man together, and now the raccoons have meth, and the koalas have chlamydia, probably from humping the meth raccoons. This is fun. We actually got an exclusive interview. We're the first people. Everybody wanted them. They wanted to get him on CBC, but we're the first person to get this interview. We have Meth Raccon here for an interview. Meth Raccon, exclusive interview. Mark, could you go get Meth Raccon from the? Could you get?
He's not here.
Meth Raccon's not here.
No, he's not.
He said he'd be here.
He sounded very interested on the phone, but before the show we caught him stealing the catalytic converter out of your car.
Man, I should have seen it coming. Meth Raccon, am I right? Meth Raccon! Stealing your women, stealing your cars. Meth Raccon! Giving chlamydia to koala bears. Fucking stop it. So dumb. That's so dumb. This is a good Toronto story. Hamlin Beach. Anybody ever go to Hamlin Beach? Yeah, Hamlin Beach is Toronto's only nude beach. Toronto's only nude beach is Hamlin Beach, and they've just passed a bylaw that watercraft vehicles have to be 200 meters from the shore now to give privacy to the people on the nude beach, right? And some of the locals are upset at the nude beach because if you have your dong in the sun and there's not a kayaker there to see it, did it really happen? But we've ensured that, even though there's going to be no watercraft, the nudists have said there will be plenty of motorboats still. Hey! How? Oh my God. It's gone perfectly. Look, the Liberals actually got one more seat in Parliament this week. Did anybody hear about that? Liberals got one more seat in Parliament when, after a recount, the Bloc Québécois lost the riding. And they lost that riding by one vote. Only one vote. When the Bloc was asked who's to blame, they said, well, obviously, we blame Francois. Oh, Francois. I, of course, blame Meth Raccon. Meth Raccon! Meth Raccon! Stealing your women, stealing your votes. Meth Raccon! Giving this guy chlamydia! Anyways, guys, we have... This guy doesn't have chlamydia. Look, we have an amazing show for you guys. We got Steve Patterson from Debaters is going to be here. Hilarious comedian writer Allie Pearse is going to be here. We have music from folk sensation Jory Nash. And now, Mark, if you'd be so kind as to play whatever song you've picked as the song to play me over to the chair. Come on, the official After Hours. That's it? That's the one you picked? Mark Edwards, everybody. Mark Edwards of the After Hours Band. Give it up for Mark. How you doing today, Mark?
I'm good.
Yeah, you feeling excited? You feeling alive? You feel like we're going to actually do this properly this time, record everything?
A little bit, yeah, because we have more advanced technology this time.
I'm sorry, how so?
Well, there's some tape on the ground that's keeping the cables a little more straight.
I do appreciate that. We do have pretty advanced technology here.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled by the lamp from a movie 40 years old. Too soon a reference. No, we actually have live satellite technology here at the After Hours show. We have live satellite technology because Toronto's such an amazing city, and it's Saturday right now, and there's awesome stuff happening everywhere in this city, even though the subway's not working. So some of you are thinking, oh, what's going on out there? Well, lucky for you, we have a correspondent that we sent live via satellite to find the hottest things happening in Toronto right now. So please, live via satellite, welcome our correspondent, Pat Thornton.
Hey, Ryan, can you hear me?
Pat?
Yeah, I'm out here on the street. Having some technical difficulties. I can't hear you very well. Can you hear me, Ryan? Ryan, you can hear me?
Yeah, Pat.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you.
That's good. Okay, yeah. I'm out here in Toronto like you wanted, and it's so exciting out here. I can't even handle it. People are having a good time. I'm just waiting for anybody to walk by me so I could interview them.
Pat,
yeah.
you're supposed to go out into Toronto. You're supposed to go out into the city. Into like the city. We did this last time, and you didn't end up out in this. You were supposed to go out.
It would have been way better if you never looked over here. Okay, I know I definitely said that I was gonna go out.
Yes.
And I didn't go out last time at all.
No.
And I'll tell you this, I did go out. I did go out on the street and I saw a dead rat and now I'm back.
You saw a dead rat.
I saw a
And
dead
that's why
rat.
you didn't leave.
I did leave, but now I'm back.
Sorry, Pat, so many
Yeah.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
None of
Okay.
which I want to ask. How did you know that the rat was dead, first of all?
Because I saw his funeral, Ryan.
The rat was having a funeral?
It was a beautiful service.
How did the rat, hold on a
They
second.
carried
rat
him
was
down
having
the
a
street.
funeral?
Yeah, when I went outside. They carried him down the street in a little box, a little shoe box. It was so nice. There was a rat priest there. He was very well spoken. And it seemed like this rat was a really well-liked guy. There wasn't a dry eye on the street. But I did feel like, ugh, this feels private. Should I be here? And now that's why I'm here.
Pat, yes, you shouldn't have been. You shouldn't be here. You should be Wait,
Just
what
because
was-
I'm
what
not
was
doing
happening
the
at this
thing you
funeral?
hired me to do?
Yeah, what was happening at this funeral that was so emotional?
Well, honestly, do you want to hear the highlight?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I mean, it was emotional because I thought everyone that was going to speak had spoken, but Then I guess the rat's stepson came up. And he started talking, and I got the gist that he really felt like this rat was his real dad. And I just, this is paraphrasing a little bit, I think. But I think my favorite part of the whole thing was when he was like,
Okay, that's all. Thank you very much, Pat Thornton, our correspondent. Pat Thornton. It's the second time he's done that to me. And we're back. Oh, that was not clap-worthy. There's so many great businesses in Toronto. Anybody a local business owner? Anyone a local business owner here? Nobody owns a business in Toronto? What the hell do you guys all do? Anybody have a local business that they love in Toronto? Yeah? What about you, sir? You were very enthusiastic. What's the local business that you love?
Moberly Foods.
What is it?
Moberly Foods.
Moberly Foods?
Yeah.
Somebody else likes Moberly Foods. What's Moberly Foods?
It's like this little grocery store.
Why?
They sell organics and stuff like that.
Oh, it's like organic food. What do you love about Moberly Foods, and where is it?
They have the cheapest. It's off of Moberly Road.
Okay, that makes sense. That tracks.
On Danforth.
And
Their Bragg's is the cheapest in town.
they're Brags?
Bragg's, yeah, it's like a soy. It doesn't really.
They have good, cheap soy stuff?
Yeah.
Bragg's, Moberly Market. That's a great business. I think everybody, I'm just saying we don't have advertisers yet. So, Moberly Market, if you're out there, if you're feeling the hippie need, if you're feeling the need to go buy some seed, tofu in bulk, you don't gotta sulk. Go down to Moberly Market, where the dirty hippies bring their giant bush. Okay, so we had some people in the film and television industry here as well. We had a few people. That's great. Has it been a busy summer so far? Nope. It's a little scary because Trump threatened 100% tariff on all foreign films, which everyone's like, how do you do that? Like, how could you even shoot a foreign film? Like, you need to shoot in other places.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason. It's like if my daughter had a tantrum saying, I want a pet unicorn, you're like, I don't know if that's possible, but it's still gonna be a long night to deal with the ramifications. But people are still shooting here because this is a great place to shoot. Like, Canada's an amazing place to film, isn't it? We have one of the largest countries on earth. We have multiple oceans. We have desert. We have rainforest. We have prairies. And I know a lot of people like shooting in other places. But some of those other places have some serious downsides, and they just don't have that something special that Canada has. You know what I mean? Right? Filming in LA, it's hot. And it has traffic you can't escape. Atlanta, well, it's so muggy. And long days, they might cause some chafe. Well, Australia's great, or so it seems, on social media. But we know for a fact, koalas, they all have chlamydia. So come shoot in Canada. Come test your luck, right? On breaks, craft service brings in a poutine truck. So come on, shoot in Canada. Hey, we're more pro-queer. That's a fact. And Americans, let me tell you, Ozempic is way cheaper here. There's no mass shootings on the freeway, just a moose or two in June. Your script supervisor is polite, and your stunt guy hums a tune. And every A feels oddly warm, like flannel on your chest. So come shoot in Canada, 'cause it's the friggin' best. Also tax credits, and our dollar is shit. All right. Thank you, Mark Edwards. Mark Edwards once again. I think it's guest time.
Let's do it.
It's guest time. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest is a fantastic comic and the beloved host of the long-running CBC comedy show, The Debaters. He's also an author and has a new, fantastic second book out. Please welcome the hilarious Steve Patterson. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Patterson.
Good morning.
Look at you.
All right, buddy.
You look great, Steve.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I didn't not look as good as you, but
That's untrue. We're wearing almost the same thing, except you have the
I have a cap.
Newsies cap on.
I do have a cap. News to break at any time.
Yeah.
So,
This is actually rare. I got you because you're always on the road. You're always traveling. Like you're a hard man to nail down. Like you're
and
coast to coast every week.
I feel like I went coast to coast. I live in the West End of Toronto, and I left my house on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and I just got here now.
How did you get here? Portage a couple times.
No, you get to meet a lot of people. I started on the subway, and then just a quirky little trick. They're like, "We're not gonna go where you wanted to go today." And then I got out and walked for a while,
Right.
and realized this is way longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Then I got in an Uber, and the Uber was heading in the wrong direction, and I said, "Can you just turn around on the Danforth?" And you can't.
No, you
You can't just turn around on the Danforth. So it took a long time to get here.
Why? Because of the bike lanes.
No, listen to the angry cyclist.
No.
No.
Well, I'm sorry. We're very efficient. Our subway might not be efficient in Toronto, but the bike lanes are super efficient. And then they put them in, and then they're ripping them out again, and then they'll be back again in another.
I wasn't gonna touch that, man. That's too hot button.
It's too chaotic. I love it. They can never pick it's like they can never pick a lane, literally. We want the bike lanes, no bike lanes. We're building a subway to Scarborough. Ugh, no.
No, we'll go bike to Scarborough.
We'll go bike to Scarborough. Well, one of the things I love about you is you are a triple threat. You do a lot of things.
See, I agree. Whoever just like triple threat, this guy can't even do one thing.
Single threat.
I agree with you.
No, but you do so many things. Like you start out, okay, so we're a comedian,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're a fantastic host of a television show. You're an author. But I was also, I couldn't believe the fact you were originally a singer. That was your thing. You wanted to be a professional singer.
Yeah. I wrote advertising jingles for a while, and then I would sing those. And
I'm
then-
trying that. I don't think it's gonna work.
I know, I liked it, buddy. Buddy, I wish I could hear more from Beck. That sounded great. Wasn't that a great opening number? There's been a lot of music already. I think that like comedy and music go together really well, and if you see a really funny musician, it adds to the show, and if you see a comedian with musical chops, that adds to the show.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
You add to the show.
Thank you. Don't make him feel good. We're not paying him, for God's sakes.
They should pay you.
But what? No, but you were like a singer and you sing on stage sometimes. But how did you go from being like, it wasn't like you like to sing. You wanted to be a professional singer. And then somehow you went into comedy and like hosting on like CBC. How does that journey happen?
That's an interesting question.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that there's two kinds of singers in the world. There are people that are really, really, truly good at singing, and then there's people that are good enough at singing that it's kind of funny when they sing. And I was in that camp where I could be like, I'm a good singer for a comedian.
Right.
That's my sweet spot.
Yeah.
So I knew I wasn't going to get into the music professionally like that. And then when I started to do comedy, I don't even know how I got Debaters, to be honest. It's great. I love it. I love doing it.
But it's a fantastic show.
It's a great gig.
It's arguably like the most popular Canadian. Well, two listeners.
Yes. You hear that? Now, God, this audience is fantastic.
Yeah, do you all listen to Debaters? Y'all listen to Debaters? It's a great show on CBC, and it's one of those shows that has been running a long time, and people love, like, I've done it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I did it at Danforth Music Hall, sold out.
It's great at the Danforth.
And people come out. Like 1,000 people come to watch the Debaters, which is a rare feat for any sort of thing in Canada. What is it about that show that has like struck a chord with audiences so much, do you think?
Well, I think that the format is a great format. I didn't come up with it. Richard Side, got to give him a shout out. He's
Yeah,
he's here. There he is. Yeah,
Is he here, Richard?
Has to be Richard. He came up with the what if comedians just debated things that no one really cares about is really the whole thing.
Right.
And sometimes we'll do a topic that they've actually debated in the House of Commons or whatever, and it still strikes a chord. And I just think the format, people really like it. It's a great writing exercise, as you know, for comedians. They're kind of coming out of their comfort zone and writing stuff. And the best part to me is, what we call the bare knuckle round. There's two comedians on stage making fun of each other at the same time, which doesn't happen anywhere else. And that's the part where comedians are like, I could do that show easy.
Right.
Fall. That's where they fall.
Ripping on your friends. And have you ever wanted to do the debates? You're always like up there guiding the debates, but have you ever wanted to be in there and doing a debate?
I did 3 before I started.
Right.
As a debater.
Oh, so you know the drill.
I do. Yeah, I don't know. I like it, but it's more fun when you don't win or lose.
Right.
Who would have thought? It's most fun being the referee.
There's got to be one debate that sticks with you after all these years. Is there one that you're like, that's the one, it stays with me?
Yeah, our most listened to one is William Shatner. And it was Eric Peterson versus Sean Cullen. And Eric Peterson I don't think he understood the assignment, but it was hilarious. Yeah. Because he was against, for those who might not know, Eric Peterson was the dad on Corner Gas, and he's a really accomplished actor, and he just went off. He's a great Shakespearean actor as well, and he would start to do just soliloquies like William Shatner would, and there was no way to edit that show down, so it's the only show that's a full hour or full half hour because there was nowhere to edit it. And even Sean Cullen, who has got amazing chops, at one point he walked off the stage and walked back on, and Eric was still doing a soliloquy. So that was it, and it was in Ottawa. It was always a great crowd there. So anyway, that one sticks out. But there's been a whole bunch of great ones. Dave Hempstead debated on CBC that big oil is a good thing, and he won, which is weird. Yeah.
I like that. I debated against the oil industry once in Alberta, and which is my home province.
Yeah.
But you know what? I like the debaters crowd because they will vote against themselves. So they actually voted they were on my side, even though they're like, boo, oil's amazing. But by the end, they're like, they come around. And I saw a debate in Toronto where I can't remember who was doing it, but the question is Toronto the worst city in Canada? And the people of Toronto agreed, yes, it's the worst.
Yeah. I mean, they don't take themselves too seriously on the show. That's the fun part. And we debated that Ottawa was the least fun city in the world once.
Agreed.
And Ottawa fully supported that. They're like, that's why we're here, man. There's nothing else here.
So you're an author. You have 2 books out.
I do, and I didn't bring either of them. And my wife's gonna be super angry because one of them is called Dad Up, and it's about dadding, and this is our time leading into Father's Day, and I didn't bring the book.
I would put up a graphic.
But we don't have it.
I would put up a graphic of it on the show, but our graphics guy saw a rat outside, so he can't. He can't do it.
That can happen.
I'll put a graphic up. But your book, Dad Up, is your newest book out there. And your first book was all letters that you wanted to write. You didn't know who to send it to.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. But this one's a much more personal book. You're talking about fatherhood. What made you want to write this one?
I would love to go get deep into it, but it was during the pandemic, and I couldn't go anywhere, so I wrote a book. And I just said, hey kids, do what you do, and then I watched them and wrote it down, and that turned into a book. I mean, I got serious with some parts in it, with my wife Nance having trouble. We had trouble conceiving, and I didn't want to put that in the book, and Nance said you should put that in the book, and it's one of the biggest things that people react to now because so many people have gone through it. So it's not all funny,
Right.
But you kind of find the laughter and things that you shouldn't. That's what we do. And
Well, you talk about being like growing up super poor and like just your own. No, you talk.
I said super poor.
You said dirt poor. You said, please, sir, can I have some more? A bunch.
That's right. That is based on me, the Oliver Twist character.
Hello. One day I'm going to host the debaters. That's why you wear
That's
the
why I
cap.
wear these hats. It's from my childhood. This is the first one I bought.
Oh, no, but you talk about like the complicated relationship with your parents, growing up, the youngest of five,
Yeah.
like all these things. But you had an interesting opening too. You were talking about how fatherhood is different than being a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. How so?
Well, I don't want to get into the science of it, Ryan. But I personally loved watching the show where they would test the talk show, where they would test
Test the talk show like now?
They would test the talk show. They would they'd come up with 3 dads and figure out who the dad was with the paternity test.
Maury?
Maury Povich. And that made me laugh so hard. The concept that like how happy the guys were that weren't the dad, like they skipped away happy and the other one was all sad. And I'm like, fatherhood is different than being a dad.
Oh, yeah.
Chemically. So that's what I
Well,
wanted.
have I got a surprise for you? Could you bring the lady out in the paternity test?
One night in Moose Jaw.
What's One Night in Moose Jaw? You know how many like illegitimate comedy babies are probably in Moose Jaw? So what's the one thing about being a father? Because it's hard as a comedian and traveling all the time. Is there like one thing that you've learned about parenthood that kind of crosses over into the comedy world?
I got to give props to Jerry D because
Is he here?
Yeah. Because I remember being, ironically, in Saskatchewan, he said this, and he had his kids a little bit before I did, and he said, when you call home from the road, you're never having a good time. He's like, you're calling home and you're like, the show is tough, and I guess it's okay here, but he's like, you don't call from the middle of a room with people having a good time when you're on the road, and it feels weird because you're missing stuff at home, man. You travel a lot, and you don't want to miss those little milestones. But the comedy family is like a surrogate family. I mean, when you get to know the people in especially Canadian comedy, I don't even know why we're in it.
Yeah.
We're in it for moments like this.
We're in it for the fun. We're not in it for the money, that's for sure.
No, because they pay you in Canadian. No one tells you that.
No.
Yeah.
Tire money. Canadian tire money. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Patterson, everybody.
Hey, thanks. What do I do?
No,
now?
you just hang up a second. Ladies and gentlemen, this next comedian is fantastic, has written on shows such as Letterkenny, Shorzy, also a fantastic comedian. Please welcome Allie Pearse. Oh my God, thank you, Allie. You come on over. Oh, you're losing your. Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the show. Yeah. We've got fun. Welcome, Allie. How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
You almost didn't make it too.
Oh, yeah, you already did the bit.
This
yeah.
song, right? That bit is my life. Yeah.
And then they drop you off one stop away, and then it's like, well, you better get back on the subway. I'm like, no, now you've taken me this far. Take me the last stop, and they didn't. I screamed, but they didn't.
They just took you. Oh, they just took you to like Woodbine, and then they're like, "It's fine
Like,
now."
get off.
I love it. We're not selling Toronto very well tonight. When it works, it works.
Yeah.
It works fantastic. Well, you've been like super busy. It feels like every time I look, you're going to a comedy festival. Were you just at Winnipeg and Halifax?
No, just Halifax, but thanks for bringing it up.
Okay. Ooh. No, we were at Halifax together for the festival.
Yes.
But did you have fun?
I did have fun. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, but I had to fly Flair, which is, you didn't fly Flair, did you?
I didn't fly Flair.
Yeah, there's
no.
tiers to the comedy festival, I think.
I'll have you know, I host an unseen internet comedy show. So I don't fly Flair.
Sponsored by Flair.
Unless, of course, they would sponsor us.
Yeah.
So they will fly your amazing airline all the time.
Yeah.
How was Flair? Was it like
It
terrible?
was made of cardboard. It was terrible. What we were like, we're on the plane, and the flight attendant is doing the safety demonstration, and she turns to one of the passengers and she's like, "I'm gonna need you to pay attention." And I was like, I'm like, what does she know that we don't know? It's going down.
It's definitely not going to last.
Yeah.
Well, I love the comedy festivals for the hang, right? That's my favorite
Yeah.
part. It's the hang. We get to
Yeah.
be together and do fun stuff. It's sort of like camp for comedians.
It is.
And there's
Yeah.
people like you. Did you do Just for Laughs like last 3 times?
Yeah.
That's and then it went under. Then it went down.
And then they went bankrupt.
But you're having like a phenomenal year. Like even every time I look online, you're taping something else. You just opened for Mark Maron.
I did.
You're doing stuff. You have a new
This
album.
is so nice. This is what it's like to have a dad, I guess. Cool.
You're doing so good. You're doing great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We got that on camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've made so many great life choices.
I might read your book just for
for advice on being a
scientific
dad.
purposes,
Well, how did you start doing comedy? When did you start?
I started in 2017, and I took a second city class after a breakup, classic, and then we got back together, classic. So I stopped doing stand-up, and then when we broke up for real, I was like, it's time to spend my life in a basement for the most part. So that's sort of the journey.
What were you doing before that, though? What was your life plot
Yeah.
before you hit comedy?
I was working for a nonprofit, and then
Boo!
yes, I know.
Am I right? Boo! You gotta make profit.
Canadian comedy is nonprofit.
Yeah, Canadian comedy is
Yeah,
nonprofit.
now I am the nonprofit. Yeah. And that was really cool. And then I went to school for environmental sustainability for 1 year, and I didn't graduate. And then here we are.
Was that because you didn't like it, or because you looked at the stats? You're like, ooh, we're screwed.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah. I had a professor who was like, "Do you want to do this? Because it's bad."
That's
I
not
was
good.
like, I don't think so. I think I'm out. Yeah.
That's a bummer. Is that why
Yeah.
David Suzuki gets high all the time?
Probably.
He does. Doesn't he like notorious? Is he here? He's notorious. Isn't he notoriously like a super pothead?
I didn't know that. I got out
That's
of the,
not true. That's not true. That's not true. Maybe he
We'll
is.
cut around it.
We'll cut around it. It'd be so great if he just came out, just like,
Yeah.
What's that? You guys talking about me? You want to talk about the world falling apart?
That's a terrible impression.
No, it's pretty
It
good.
was actually
Pretty good.
perfect. Yeah.
You're super funny as a comic, and you do lots of terrific writing as well. You've written for
Thanks.
lots of shows, and you've also written for other comics as well. You've written at like galas.
Oh
and-
yeah, I forgot. Thanks. Yeah, no, I do that. Yeah.
But I'm always intrigued because as comedians, we often get hired to write for other comics, for
Yeah.
award shows. What do you find? Do you find it more difficult or easier to write for somebody else?
Well, this is like the job that I had at JFL was writing for people who are hosting galas. So it's a little bit different because it's not their comedy. It's almost like how do I explain it? Like it's not their stand-up. It's like them introducing other people. So you're writing jokes for them, but they're giving it their spin on it. So it's
Right.
actually easy.
Did you have any bad experiences with anybody?
Yeah, but I signed a bunch of papers.
You did?
But I didn't.
You pull off your mask.
David Suzuki.
David Suzuki. What's going on, man? Let's talk the nature of things, bro. I don't know what that voice is.
That sounds exactly like it.
Yeah.
You know the worst thing I ever experienced at a gala I was on.
Yes. Ooh,
Was
do you
with,
have a
and I didn't
story?
sign. I don't think I signed anything. Was Tom Arnold was hosting.
Okay.
And I know some people went ooh already. Not Tom Arnold. And he was hosting, and it was going well. Like every part of the gala was going great. Everybody had amazing sets. It was at Theatre Saint Denis. It was packed, magical evening. And then they had a big sketch at the end. And this is right around the time of the Abu Ghraib prison scandal.
Ugh.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like all the bad stuff and all the photos. So somebody thought it'd be funny to do Abu Ghraib the musical sketch.
And Prince, how did that go?
What's that?
And how did that
It when
go?
people were just started leaving. You know, the end of all the old Just for Laughs were like, oh no, it's over. And the crowd files out of the theater. That's probably from that show. That's probably from that show. I had a couple of questions I want to ask both of you to chime in on, if that's okay. Because like we were talking about bits that all comics have. What's one bit that either of you have that you've always loved that the audience has never loved?
Where to begin?
For me, it's the David Suzuki bit. But,
It's very recent.
no, but we always have like a bit that we're like, oh, I just can't make it work, but you keep trying it. Yeah, you have one?
I know mine.
What is it?
Yeah, it doesn't work. It works like 3% of the time. It's the idea that, well, I can't wait for it to bomb here too. That in my 20s, I dated so many men that like needed like an overhaul, like a full overhaul that became my responsibility, that it was like flipping a house. And then, you're like, oh, good, I'm gonna invest in this thing. And then 3 months later, you're like, it's haunted. Why didn't anyone tell me it's haunted? Anyway, I try and make this comparison and everybody hates it. And I don't know why.
I loved it.
Thank you.
Those people are terrible.
That seemed to do pretty well.
But I know there's always
Bombed here, I'll tell you that much. On this stage,
on
I
this
mean.
stage, yeah. There's because there's always bits that you're like, why doesn't it work? If it's funny in my brain,
Yeah.
that's kind of the secret, right? To a good bit, you have to think it's funny first, and then you have to translate it.
No, I disagree,
No.
Ryan. I disagree. I like to talk about things that I don't find amusing whatsoever. And be pleasantly surprised.
There are 100% comedians
Comedians
who do
that do that, like if they're like,
I am Pandertron 5000, and they just.
I like Pandertron 5000. I used to do a joke a long time ago about traveling to Ireland, and there's a lot of lampposts. And then I compared the lampposts to Celine Dion. And it never hit. And I kept doing it for a while, and then I realized, yeah, it's really not that funny. But in my defense, I was very high in Ireland when I wrote it. Yeah, and I was David Suzuki. Yeah.
Well, how is Celine Dion like a lamppost? I'm wondering what the comparison is.
You're gonna make them do it?
No, I'm not gonna do it. No.
I'm just wondering, like the thought.
I know.
Thin?
Thin. That was it.
Copy.
That was
Don't do it.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
get it.
Yeah. No, I haven't done it in a
shining
while.
light?
And what's that?
A shining light?
A shining light. That's what I was trying to get
shining light.
across.
I fixed
0% body fat is the
Yeah.
point I was trying. She's very
Copy
fit.
that.
What's yours?
Yeah. What is
Honestly,
yours?
I've never had a bit not work. What
Don't
is-
encourage him.
What is the bit that's never like? I used to have a bit that about popes. I did talk about popes, about how how the pope has the giant hat, and I never understood the giant hat. And I'm like, what's inside the pope's hat? What's inside it? Like, there's got to be something to necessitate this. It's so stupid.
And that didn't work?
This giant hat. No, that's not the bit. Do you think that maybe inside the hat is a tinier pope? And he whispers instructions to the pope, and inside the tiny pope's hat is another little pope?
Yeah.
And it keeps going up, Dr. Seuss style, until you get to God, and they whisper instructions down, but it turns into telephone, and then it gets screwed up. So God says something like, "Hey, little Pope, no apples. People shouldn't eat apples. It ruined the Garden of Eden. He's like, okay, and it goes down, no cabbage. Okay, no cabbage. Hey, no coleslaw. Okay, no coleslaw. And it gets this guy. He's like, no sex before marriage. You're like, what? What? It's great.
Can we travel with this crowd? Because you guys are great.
I love these people.
They're hired.
Where were you in 2002 at the Laugh Resort? Favorite place in Canada to perform? Favorite place or worst place, or like worst place to perform?
Canada.
Like what's like the audience or like the venue or like the people that you like to perform for the most?
Well,
Give him like every option.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's your-
What is a place in Canada you prefer?
No, but we all have venues that we go to where
Yeah.
like every time you show up, you're like, what is it? It's like alchemy. It's
Well, I love going to Newfoundland. We get to go out there every summer with something now. Huge crowd for Newfoundland here, and it's intimidating because Newfoundlanders are such great storytellers anyway. Very funny, love to laugh. But when you start to do the show, you're like, I hope I can make these people laugh because they can just make themselves laugh.
yeah.
They can entertain themselves. They don't
Yeah.
really need us.
They're
here.
funny.
But I was out there with Critch and Majumder in a festival, and it was just them laughing at themselves is the greatest laughter there can be. They have, to me, the East Coast just has an amazing sense of humor about themselves, particularly, and that's my favorite things. People that can laugh at themselves. And there's a lot of people that can't do that. And there's a name for that group, and it's called Americans.
Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to ask because this is a show about like promoting talent, promoting people who are here, and because I honestly think Canada has some of the best comedians, some of the best actors, some of the best musicians, and some of the world knows that, but a lot of people don't know. Like, there's so many great people here, and so I want to ask everyone, where do you go to find Canadian artists? Like, is there a comedy club? Is there like a bookstore you like to go to? Is there a live place you like to go see Canadian music? Like, is there a place you go, oh, that's where I like to go see what's what and check stuff out?
I mean, Comedy Bar.
Right.
Yeah. Comedy Bar is amazing. I mean, and it's probably my favorite place to perform. Like, I love that I think what's so great about Comedy Bar in particular is that it's independently produced. All the shows are independently produced, so you get like everybody coming through, as opposed to like if one club booker is booking it, you really have like their taste, which is not always very good. And so I love Comedy Bar to perform and to see talent. I mean, it's the best. It's the absolute best. They've done so much for Canadian comics. Yeah.
I agree. And they have two venues.
Two venues,
They have two fantastic venues.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have one?
I don't have one, Ryan. I have several.
Oh, great.
How much time do we have? No, I feel very fortunate with debaters because we get to travel to theaters wherever we go in Canada. And Calgary is an amazing scene. And you get to meet local people that are, we get to help break them because they don't travel around that much. So, we're going to Yellowknife soon. And just, I encourage everyone to go to see a show at a Canadian theater where you maybe don't know who's on the show because, pound for pound, I think Canadians have amazing comedians. We have amazing, just everyone in entertainment. And I love going to see a show where I don't know anyone on it and being pleasantly surprised as opposed to, I kind of famously, like in Just for Laughs, you'll see a Canadian comedian open up for a bigger American name and kind of blow them off the stage because they're just pound for pound funnier. It's not a disrespect to the American comedians. I just wish we would promote our own better. That's all.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming here today. You've been amazing. I want everybody who's watching in here, but also out there in the world, to go onto socials, follow these Canadian artists, go buy tickets to their shows, buy Dad Up from Steve Patterson, and we have a great musical act coming up. And thanks to both of you guys for being here today. I really appreciate it. Once again,
Thanks,
Allie
Ryan.
Pearse, Steve Patterson.
Thanks, brother.
You guys are awesome. He's had multiple Canadian Folk Award nominations. He's a terrific singer and songwriter. It is my pleasure to introduce Jory Nash.
My last lover was a drama queen. Oh, but I didn't know until I switched on the spotlight and she began the show. Now I'm not saying I'm innocent, that I was not at fault, but I didn't think she had the wherewithal to grind the whole thing to a halt. Are you ready to love? Are you ready for anything? Are you ready to fall? Are you ready for the eye and the hurricane? Do you know who you are? Are you waiting for the light to change? It was a false start, but are you ready to love again? The sunrise breaking on the interstate on my ride home. I keep thinking about the sting she felt and a heart like a honeycomb. I'm so tired of acting like a bandit and keeping love at bay. And I don't know if this looks like one, but it feels like a getaway. Are you ready to love? Are you ready for anything? Are you ready to fall? Are you ready for the eye and the hurricane? Do you know who you are? Are you waiting for the light to change? It was a false start, but I am ready to love again. Well, I pay my dues and I want the news. I'm not some fly on a wall, and you seem to see things clearer than me. I don't believe you at all, not at all, not at all, not at all. My last lover was a drama queen. Oh, and that's no joke. She kept me walking on her eggshells just until they broke. But now that I'm looking from the outside, well, I think I see how some of the pieces never lined up well, but we misfit cleverly. Are you ready to love? Are you ready for anything? Are you ready to fall? Are you ready for the eye and the hurricane? Do you know who you are? Are you waiting for your life to change? It was a false start, but are you ready to love again?
Yeah! Jory Nash! Jory Nash! Jory, buddy. That was amazing. Jory, absolutely killer. 10th studio album is coming out soon. You're working on it. It's almost done. I can't wait for it. You can buy all his albums on his website, which we will link to here, and I recommend you all rush home and buy them. And could you answer the same question that these guys were answering? What's one place that you would go to find local music or art that you like to promote here?
Musically, I like Hughes Room Live in Toronto.
Yeah.
It used to be Hughes Room on the west side of town, and then it kind of closed down and has been resurrected as Hughes Room Live. On the east side, it's at Broadview and Gerrard. It's a 200-seat listening venue. In this town, there's a lot of small clubs, and there's a lot of like 500-seat and up theaters, but there wasn't anything in between, like a good soft seat or little listening room for 200-seat place, and it's filled a real void. So, and it's not for profit now, and supports jazz and blues and folk and lots of different styles, and there's great music happening there.
Awesome, Hughes Room. Once again, Jory, do you mind playing us out? Once again, Jory Nash.
As Ryan said, I'm working on a new record. I've taken about 5 years off from music, and so like to do a new song for you, but hands up if this is the first time you have ever seen me play. Yeah, so anything I do tonight would be new. This one is newer than most. Called Oh Little One. Well, the fever, it broke like a bone, and I figured that I was alone. But there you stood, my sentinel son, and you asked me if I was okay, if the demons had all flown away. You could not have known just where I had gone. But oh, little one, there is no more work to be done, and everything is laughter and sunlight, and we can just be kind. There's a lighthouse a mile from here. You can stand at the edge of the pier and look across to where ships ran aground. But that was a long time, you know, and now tourists take pictures and go. They won't see the beauty we found. But oh, little one, there is no more work to be done. Everything is laughter and sunlight, and we can just be kind. Hear my voice, take my hand, and rejoice. We will go walking in the sand. Now here in the soft light of dawn, I can feel the whole world turning on, and it seems my heart is still beating along. But oh, little one, there is no more work to be done, and everything is laughter and sunlight, and we can just be kind.